Hello, everybody.
Hey, hey.
Happy New Comic Book Day.
Yes, sir.
It's my favorite day of the week.
NCBD, New Comic Book Day. It's cold and windy here.
It is. I just want the weather to make up its mind.
It was like, 80 yesterday?
Yeah, it was like third summer
Yeah.
at the beginning of the week.
Now it's fall again. Mm-hmm. Extreme fall. I think the wind's blowing like 30, 40 miles an hour right now. So, wherever you're at, hopefully it's not that bad. Although there's a lot of the north side of the country has been getting snow and all kinds of fun stuff, so that's always good. Flooding.
Yeah.
Our neighborhood Canadians are coming down to pick up some books, and he was showing us some pictures of what he's leaving. And I'm like, oof.
Darren's fixed to be driving through all that stuff.
Yeah. Good for him. San Diego Comic Con's next week, so if you're going to San Diego Comic Con, make sure you stop by the booth and say what's up. We should have an island as soon as you walk in. So
That's cool.
yeah, so it'd be kind of nice to finally have our own booth at San Diego Comic Con. Be the first one I've missed since we've opened the doors to Unknown Comics. I've gone to every San Diego Comic Con for the last few years. So, but Darren will be there with a nice little staff of people. We got anybody asking any questions or anything?
Not yet.
Chitter chattering?
Not yet.
Let's see here. Well, of course, it's New Comic Book Day. Tanner and I both have some books to kind of go over and talk about what we've been reading.
Yeah, I got some catch up to do. I've got 3 issues from this week and 3 issues from the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, a lot of some Dark Horse stuff. Nice.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple. New number 1 from Vault. Some other stuff we've just been kind of continuing to read. Some Aftershock, some Marvel Vault. Of course, Spider-Man. All the stuff that they've been doing here lately. But it looks like you got more than me, so I'll let you start off this week.
Okay, I'll start with the stuff that I from here recently, not this week. So first up, I've got from Vault, their Nightfall line, The Rush. This is a number 1 that stands for This Hungry Earth Reddens Under Snow-Clad Hills. It's a Western that takes place during the Gold Rush era.
Okay.
And it's...
Leonardo DiCaprio in there fighting a bear.
He might be. It's only issue number 1. It's about a mother looking for her lost son.
Okay.
And apparently there's this... what do they call it? Hoof break hill or something like that, because a mule went lame, stepped on a golden nugget up there.
Okay.
But the whole area is,
It's a way to find some gold.
yeah, it's cursed or haunted or something, and people go missing up there. There's a couple crazy characters that somehow made it out, and they talk about the color and the cold.
Okay.
So this place stays snow and frozen even when on the bottom of the mountain. I'm assuming it's a mountain. It's like summertime. So yeah, it was interesting. They didn't give you much to go on. There's this crazy looking monster that's like I don't know. I could describe him as like Western Slender Man.
Okay.
Let's see if so you can see the part of him, like the dude in the bowler hat with like the spider arms coming out of his back.
Interesting.
So he shows up, and like everybody's just like terrified of this guy, but there's not enough story to actually know what's going on yet.
Yeah.
So it was a good setup. Issue 2 is coming out, I believe, next week. No, I think December 1st.
Okay. It's a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty interesting.
it was decent.
Yeah. Vault's got some good stuff. So
I like the cover. This is the B cover, and they're doing a whole series of these, just like ominous landscapes.
well, that one's similar to Something's Killing Children.
Yeah, it's very similar art style.
Yeah. So I've got a Vault comic as well that I went through. It's called Radio Apocalypse. This just came out this week. It's being written by Ram V or Bram V. Not really sure how to pronounce it. Of course, he's one of the ones writing Venom.
Yeah.
So this is pretty good. Again, this is Vault Comics. They have a couple different variants. There's not really a whole lot of it's apocalypse,
Cool.
post world. You don't really have a lot of context of what happened. Kind of starts off with there kind of being like a radio tower. It's pretty important to everything that's going on. We see two girls kind of making their way to this town that I guess seems as safe. And there's some kind of Xenos creatures that kill people at night.
Okay.
So it's really kind of all we really get out of the first issue is knowing that the radio tower is pretty important. They play music and stuff for people. One of the girls makes it to this town. It's Bakersville, I think. And the other girl doesn't quite make it. I see a little bit of a glimpse of the Xenos creatures kind of towards the end. The other girl that doesn't make it blows herself up in a whole lot of these Xenos creatures. And then we see another kid kind of get taken into the radio tower as well, who looked like he was trying to steal some stuff, and he got caught by the guy that runs the radio station. So I'm guessing most likely their two stories are kind of be kind of where we go from there. So, but again, it's Radio Apocalypse from Vault Comics as well.
You say Xenos like you're a 40K player or something.
Right? I know. Some people are probably then like, what is this? So it does again. They look just kind of like messed up animals, like maybe some kind of chemical reaction did. But like in here, they just like crazy little dogs.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm not sure if that's the only types of creatures there are, if there's something else. She definitely took care of a whole lot of them. And the guy that's running the town's very worried about his numbers and keeping people safe. And at the very end of it, you find out there's another town that hasn't been getting its refills and stuff like it's supposed to. So everybody in that town is also now coming to his town.
Okay.
So pretty good. I liked it. Be interested to see where it goes.
Next up, I've got No One Left to Fight 2, number 2. Dark Horse Comics, Aubrey Sitterson. It's similar to Dragon Ball. It's got that same sort of feel.
Okay. So 30 minutes of power-ups or?
Yeah. No, just the way the characters are kind of set up. One character is very obviously Vegeta.
Okay.
One is very obviously Goku, and one is very obviously Bulma.
So we're talking like very beginning of Dragon Ball, kind of like Dragon Ball Z, right?
Yeah, well, kind of a mix of the two. That they're just all buddies. I guess it directly ties to No One Left to Fight number 1. It picks off right off the bat.
So it's just like a second volume.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the main character is dying, but no one knows how. So they're trying to figure out how. This issue was like reading an episode of the Magic School Bus.
Okay.
They shrink the others down to go inside of him to figure out what's wrong with him. I love the art. I really love the colors. That's probably the best part of the book is the colors.
It's all interiors like that as well.
Oh,
vibrant
yeah.
neons.
Yeah. I do feel like I'm missing a little bit because I haven't read the first volume.
Yeah.
But not enough that I'm completely lost.
Okay.
So it's all right. Like I said, the best part is definitely the art. I could just look at it, flip through the book and look at it.
Well, that's pretty good though.
So.
It's something like this Radio Apocalypse. The art was good, and I understand. Again, it matches what's going on with the story.
Mm-hmm.
But it still doesn't make it easy sometimes.
Right.
Because it'd be just kind of distracting.
Right.
I'll let you go and do another one because you have a lot more than me.
So my next one, and I've been waiting months for this book, is Orphan and the Five Beasts, number 3. Everything's done by James Soko. It's just kind of a recap of the whole series up to here. It's about an orphan that was raised by a kung fu abbot. And before the abbot dies, on his deathbed, he tells the story of how he trained these people, but the people weren't worthy.
Yeah.
So he only taught them each a specific thing. And so those specific things grew into they basically turn them into demons.
Okay.
Of a certain type. The first, there's 5 of them, the 5 beasts. We've fought the second beast in issue number 2.
Okay.
and that dude was like the master of the leg technique. So he was like this skinny dude with big old legs, and
So they're like picking up skills as he goes here. Is that kind of what's going on?
so the orphan kid has actually mastered everything.
Okay.
Because he was worthy. So as he was raised, he learned all the techniques.
Okay.
So or actually, I think it's a she. She's going out to basically right her master's wrongs
Okay.
by of teaching these other people.
Okay.
It's only a 4-part, and this is number 3, and we've only had an actual fight with the first beast.
So there's a lot to happen in the next.
So there's a lot to happen in the next issue, which kind of makes me worried. I hope it doesn't just flop because I was so excited for the whole series, and then it's been like issue 4 is not coming out until February.
Dark Horse, come on now.
I know. So I hope that it's at least good.
Yeah.
If not, that they grant it another 4 issues or something.
Yeah, give it another volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Because the art is amazing.
it's killing me how long it's taking Dark Horse to take care of stuff nowadays. So.
Yeah. It's totally perfect for like a kung fu fantasy book. With the way that everything's drawn and the colors and just the story itself. It's fantastic. But I hope the 4th issue doesn't kill it.
Yeah. Well, dang. All right, so I've got, of course, Chicken Devil #1 was pretty interesting. So we have Chicken Devil 2 that came out today. Oh, yeah, there we go. So this is Aftershock Comics, written by Brian. Can't say your last name, Brian. Bugalito. Hayden Sherman doing the art. Again, this one, it picks up right off where the first one did. A guy, recapping the first one, guy finds that his partner's been smuggling heroin in his chicken product. He's got crazy cool chicken. He goes to try to get his family out of the country, and they blow up his family. Then his business partner calls him and said, "Hey, you got to help me." So he goes to grab this big stack of cash, like $2 million from the guy's gym, and then the guy shows up to kill him and take the money, and then he ends up slipping on the floor and blowing his own brains out. And then he ends up with this chicken suit. So he's way in over his head. He has no idea what the crap he's doing. So he cleans up the body, up the blood, gets the body out of the gym, goes home, sleeps off over the night. Detectives show up at his house the next day. He's like, "Oh crap, I don't know what to do." He ends up talking them off, and then he goes to find his business partner, and he's like, "Okay, what do we do?" And he's like, "We got to sell all this and get out of here. Go to Costa Rica." And he's like, "I'm not going to Costa Rica." And then they show up to get their product. They follow him over there, and then his business partner ended up getting blown away at the end of this one. So, I mean, the guy is not trying to do anything. He's just trying to get out of it all, and he ends up, just stuck in this big mess of all these things that his business partner did. So, it's interesting just to kind of see his story and everybody else's. So, but his business partner just got blown away. And that's where this one ends. So you have no idea what situation he's going to be in issue 3. So, but it's good. There's a lot of words. It's still pretty wordy, but the words go pretty quick. So it's a good read. The art's interesting, very colorful. But the colorist, I mean, they do a very good job between the panels of making you feel like what's important. You know what I mean? So they do it. It's a pretty well done book. I like it so far.
Up next, I have from Scout Comics #1, Commander Rao. This is just a one-shot. It's in the future. You start out reading this person's obituary, and then it flashbacks to what actually happened.
Okay.
So I guess there's this evil baron that has overlorded Europe, and she goes and basically takes him out by herself. She was a part of whatever military, decided chain of command was not for her, resigned, and went on her own.
Okay.
The whole thing, like, it's a really fast read. It's mostly action. There's not a bunch of actual reading.
Yeah. Quick panels.
Yeah, it's quick. You see that she goes and takes this guy out, and then you see that it wasn't at all for the good of humanity. It was because the dude killed her lover.
Oh.
Back when she was still enlisted.
Yeah.
I guess so. She got hurt.
So what was the time period on this?
2076.
Okay. So futuristic.
Yeah, it's futuristic. When she was still enlisted, she got hurt. Her lover saved her, but she was hurt bad enough that they wouldn't let her go back.
Yeah.
And so she was unable to basically return the favor
Okay.
and couldn't save her. So yeah, it was okay. Like I
I
said,
feel like that's kind of been our main motif with Scout Comics,
there's been a few that I've really liked,
but for the most part, it's just like,
especially being a one shot. There just wasn't much meat to this story. I mean, I read the whole book in like 5
there's no
minutes.
series. It's just a
This is
one-off.
one shot, yeah.
I wonder if they'll come back for a volume.
It says mature readers one shot.
Interesting. I wonder if maybe there's other stuff that they have in there.
Yeah, I don't know. So it took me like 5 minutes to read the whole thing, so
Yeah.
that's not a much investment into a story for a one shot, you know.
Yeah. So Moon Knight, I've been reading Moon Knight. It's been good. Being written by McKay, I believe. Jim McKay. Yeah. And interior art is by Alessandro Capuccio. So still picking up with, he's, in a psychologist session having different meetings and going over like him being messed up, having DID, just, disorder. And but we get to this point where he's kind of going back and forth between his counselor and going into what he's fighting. And so, people have been sending random people in his life to try to mess with him. And he thinks it's this person. This person finally comes to find out it's one of the people he's helping named Terry. And he's actually got an alter ego that he calls himself the Zodiac. So I've got another first kind of appearance in here. Even though Terry's been in the issues, the last few issues, this is his first appearance as Zodiac. He's been the guy that's been messing with him this whole time. So pretty interesting to see. He's been challenging Moon Knight in all different types of ways. Throwing him different directions, making him think it's this other people, this person. But you also see Moon Knight kind of see why he never wants to take the mask off and stuff like that, because he just can't stand being just Mark Spector. Mm-hmm. He, if he was just him, he couldn't live with it, which is probably why he has DID, because he wants to be anybody besides him, because Mark Spector screws everything up, and he doesn't want to be Mark Spector.
Yeah. So,
pretty interesting. I like to read. On a personal level, you can connect with that, like, just like, so if you're somebody that's made a lot of bad choices or somebody that screws up a lot, you can understand why, you can connect with that. So I liked it a lot. It's been a good series so far. And I like what he's doing with it. So I'm kind of interesting to see where this Zodiac character is going to go. So
my next book is ShangChi #6. This is another series I've been enjoying the whole series. He's kind of stuck between his crime boss family and the Avengers. His dad dies. He's trying to turn the five weapon society legit. Some people in the society already don't really like that.
yeah,
A few issues ago, he kind of teamed up with Captain America to take down some of the others. AIM was there. The Hand was there. It was a big supervillain auction.
Yeah.
And the Cosmic Cube was up for auction, and he got a hold of it. And,
an interesting item to have up for auction.
yeah, he got a hold of it and
But Captain America would be really interested in that.
gave it to Cap. But the Avengers don't have it. They think that Shang-Chi stole it, so
They're back at him.
they're back at him.
Yeah.
This issue starts out with Brother Saber showing off this replica katana that Shang-Chi's father made.
Okay.
It's a replica of... Let me look real quick. I'm not even going to try and say it. It's the Japanese god of blade and thunders. Blades and thunder.
So it's their Thor.
Their Thor, yeah.
Okay.
And this is a replica blade. So the Avengers show up, start accusing him of stealing the cube.
Yep.
He has no idea
Where it's at.
Okay. Like legit. And so he basically kicks most of the Avengers' butt, and then Iron Man calls Thor down.
Yeah.
And then Brother Saber's like, here, use this saber. And Shang-Chi's like, I thought it didn't work. And he's like, well, I lied. And he totally powers up. And this is where I told you they duped me. I thought we just had basically the first appearance of Shang-Chi, Super Thor, awesome god of blades and thunder.
Yeah.
and he totally kicks Thor's butt.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out it's not a sword; it's the cosmic cube
Oh.
that Brother Saber stole.
Okay.
Yeah, so he recognizes the feeling of power it gives him
Yeah.
from when he helped get it back
Yeah.
a few issues ago. And he's like, "This and melt." He says, "Melt Thor's hammer," and Thor's hammer starts to melt. I'm like, "Yeah, this totally is just the cosmic cube." So he hands it over to the Avengers.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's really the only character that legit believes Shang about
Not stealing.
not stealing it.
Yeah.
He turns over Brother Saber to the Avengers, and as they're walking away, Reed Richards asks Iron Man if we can trust him or if he's just trying to cover it up. And of course, Iron Man still doesn't trust him. Iron Man's a jerk.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
him.
that's not anything new.
No. Yeah, so now he's being set up for something else. We know that because now the Five Weapons Society, they don't want his sister and all these people. They don't want anything to do with them.
No.
And the Avengers don't believe him. So he's basically alone with no allies. And the last page we see some other group is getting ready to take him down. So
Okay. All right.
it's good. I've liked this series a whole lot.
Yeah. Well, sweet.
Now I don't remember if I actually ordered number 7.
Well, we'll have it. It's a pretty popular book. We actually have a good amount of orders on that. So, of course, we're both in keeping up with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So this is our first Dot Beyond issue, 78 Beyond. So this one, kind of like what we thought. It's just about Misty Moon Knight and
What's her name?
Wong. No,
Colleen Wing.
Colin Wong, something. I can't
Wing.
remember. Yeah. Which it's interesting. You kind of start off with just a little bit of them training with Spider-Man, and then they go on their own mission.
Yeah.
Which, again, is what we kind of thought it would be.
I liked the Haunted Avengers
Yeah.
simulation they had.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, because you got like Jason Iron Man
Yeah.
there, and it's pretty cool. I liked it. I'm guessing it was supposed to be out at Halloween, right?
Yeah, a little late there.
Yeah, it's hitting almost Turkey Day. I like the relationship between the two characters. The fun that they have and that kind of stuff. It still feels very Spider-Man-ish, right? But we definitely see kind of like what we thought with them being definitely spies inside of the Beyond Corporation.
Yeah.
So
They go when they take on this extraterrestrial. I forget what they called him.
let's see. He was
Obsidian Star is what
Yeah.
they called him.
yeah, which I feel like DC has something like that.
I don't know. I don't think it was a major appearance because it's already dead.
Yeah. But basically they just went after it for its power source. We see Monica Rambeau show up again at the end, take the power source, and that they're hiding the stuff from the Beyond Corporation.
And I know we've talked about this before, but this main chick for the Beyond Corporation, she's sketchy.
Yeah. Yeah. They know it. They know that they've been being tracked and all this kind of stuff. And then she tells them that they have to go out there and fight these people to save lives. And then when they get done, they come back in and she's like, well, where's all the stuff? And she's like, oh, I thought we were just out there saving lives. Like, what do you need?
And I wonder when this takes place, if this is like a before thing or not. Because, in a couple issues ago, they were complaining about having to have the drones with them and stuff.
Yeah.
And I wonder if this is why they have to have the drones. Like, she doesn't believe them.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, because we kind of see them talking to Monica Rambeau in the last issue of Spider-Man. So I wonder if it's kind of right in before all that.
Yeah.
Because they're handing him this power source from the Obsidian Star guy. I'm curious if it's all good. There's going to be a lot of different tie-ins. Miles is going to tie into this. Of course, there's a new Mary Jane Black Cat book coming out next month, which we can see that they're going to be teaming up based on last issue of Spider-Man as well. And any other lover that Peter might need, as Mary Jane said. So it's interesting to see what they're going to do with this, where all different people. And of course, this is McKay writing this one, but lots of different creators are helping out on this current storyline. So, but I like the playful attitude between the two of them. I like their relationship. We kind of started seeing them a little bit like this at the end of the Netflix shows, actually having that relationship with each other. But it never really got to the full fruition of kind of what you're seeing them do here in this comic. So
Yeah.
but good, I liked it. Some other stuff we really didn't get a chance to read today. Of course, you had Robin's #1 coming out. A couple other DC titles. I know Sword from Marvel was this week. A lot of people have been reading Sword. So there's some good stuff that came out this week. If you haven't had a chance to pick it up, if there's something we're not reading you want us to read, make sure you let us know.
Yeah.
So if we're missing it, we need to know.
I'm going to read all the good stories.
Read it. I don't think... there's a lot of stuff that got pushed again. We have a ton of books coming in this week right before Thanksgiving, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
The distro, our employees are probably thinking they're going to maybe have a nice little light week right before Turkey Day, and no, it's going to be like one of the biggest new comic book days at all.
Next week?
Yeah, because there's 5 or 6 exclusives dropping next week, which tells you there's that many big books already coming out.
Right. Everything's been pushed around.
Yeah, it's just getting like Hulk's next week. There's tons of big stuff coming up next week. So next week's going to be a pretty big week, I believe. So, but some good stuff this week too. I liked what I read. I wasn't disappointed in anything I read this week. So
there's a bunch of stories that I'm ready to just get here. Hulk is one of them. Devil's Reign is one of them.
Yep. Yeah, Devil's Reign is I think 12/8 now. So we're a few weeks from that. That looks like it's gonna be really good. So I'm excited about that one as well. So,
Yeah.
Cherdasky and I think Chichetto and their stuff on Daredevil has just been great so far.
It has. It's spinning right out of Daredevil. So it's those two guys.
A Woman Without Fear is coming out next January.
Is that going to be an ongoing?
I would say for a little while, probably at least, because it looks like he's probably going to take his mantle up. So they'll both be kind of running side by side.
Okay.
So, and of course, with Fisk doing everything he's been doing in New York. So.
I know Spider-Woman's supposed to tie in. I think there's a Spider-Man tie-in.
Mm-hmm. And then we still don't for sure exactly know what's actually going to be going on with the Ben Reilly story. We were kind of talking about this before. We don't know if it's going to be present day or past.
Based off the synopsis for issue 1 and the cover art, I think it's going to be past. But I can't say for sure. It could be some sort of parallel story that something he's going through in the present relates to a story from his past or something like that. But
I would still think that if they're really going to bring him back, have a good ongoing series with him that comes out of this. That way, you still have Peter back as the main Spider-Man. We all saw the trailer last night. We'll probably talk about it quite a bit more in our podcast tomorrow. But we know there's going to be multiple Spider-Mans in the Spider-Man movie. Maybe Ben Reilly's one of those. We haven't even really talked about that,
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of interesting to see what's going to happen come December. And December, 17th?
17th.
So
I'm just worried my hopes are too high,
it's...
Because they are sky high right now.
I'm trying not to be too excited, right? Because last time we had a Spider-Man 3 movie, it was terrible. But... and this is the 3rd Spider-Man movie of this franchise. But we know there are some people for sure that they're not showing us. I'm just wanting to know who it's going to be. So give us your guess. Give us your thoughts on that, too.
Because I would have thought, especially with the way the movie released, that they would have showed Venom in the trailer.
Something.
Because
he's got to be somewhere.
He's obviously in that universe now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just, we see, if you see some of the foreign little clips where you can actually see Lizard getting punched in the face, and there's nobody punching him, and there's definitely other people helping him out that they have erased from the trailer. So it's just figuring out who those people are. We're only a few weeks away from that. So it's exciting. We're all excited. Everybody's freaking out. They're hoping that this version of MJ doesn't end up dead, and Tom Holland's character doesn't end up dead. And, it seemed to me like the plot's going to be that Tom Holland can't stand the fact that these guys are going to die, so he's actually trying to help.
Everybody dies.
He's trying to help all the bad guys not go to their universes so they don't die. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited about it. Excited about where we're at with this kind of stuff. So,
yeah.
It's just good to see things staying on track now as far as the movies go. Like, nothing's been moving.
Yeah.
They're making money again, so that means they're okay with people showing up when they show up, and so that's fine with me.
Yep.
Oh, and then don't forget we got Hawkeye next week too.
Yeah.
Next Wednesday, first 2 episodes of Hawkeye. So it's pretty exciting.
It is. I've been looking forward to that one for a long time also.
Yeah,
So
I gotta. If you watch the little sizzle thing that they did on Disney Plus Day last week, at the very end of that, they did a 4-minute just straight run through of part of the movie, and it was pretty good. Made me more excited. So
cool.
Well, yeah. Got anything else?
That wraps us up, I guess. So thank you guys for watching, and be sure to come back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central
Yep.
for our weekly podcast.
Awesome.
And we'll see you then.
Thanks, guys.